hello, ladies and gentlemen. And today, there's always something that you could spin up and make a tell of and look at things from this angle or that angle and cause some kind of issue or swatting of the hornet's nest. But just when I thought I could stay away, you have potentially the dumbest thing I've ever heard said on the internet. Or, you could just be on a completely different planet of your own and not recognize things that are happening in the world around us. This was on XR Plus from Planet Zero, because this opinion that I'm about to play to you is not from planet Earth.
And now you got Ricky Thornton, and I don't know anything about Ricky Thornton. I know I outrun him in modifies. I only ran him twice. So I've watched,
Ricky Thornton,
and I hate to say
don't know nothing about him. I should have set this up. This opinion of Ricky Thornton Jr.
This Ricky, but I'm just going to tell you, you got a lot to learn in driving a car, but you got a fast car. Okay? I mean, I've seen him make a lot of mistakes, driving too hard, doing a lot of things, but he's getting results. It's all that matters. Car's fast. Now, actually, I talked to Davenport today. Just I've always liked him. We've always kept in touch enough, and a little mystery, I think, going on with Ricky, and same chassis.
So when you see a guy like Ricky Thornton having the kind of year he's having, is that, you think, something that they've just figured out, or is it, the internet will always say, oh, so-and-so's cheating. He's having a great year. He must be cheating.
Well, that's just a natural thing for everyone to think. That's what, and I've lived this side of it so many times that, and they got to come up with something, and the best thing to do is make it short and sweet and say he's cheating. Okay? Right?
That's right.
And that gets your fans off your ass. And you just say, he's just cheating. We just ain't figured it out, but he's got to be cheating because he's better than everybody, and that's just not possible anymore. Well, it is possible. He came from, modified racing. There's no telling what he might be doing that he learned from modifies that happened to apply to our sport. And I tell you what, he needs to be careful if somebody can really shoe one gets the same thing. Is all I can say. I'm not really being rude, but I've just watched some things and I'm watching close. He's definitely got a way faster race car.
Wow. So what in the world did we just see? It sounded like he was trying to say Ricky Thornton Jr. could be cheating.
He's got to be cheating because he's better than everybody, and that's just not possible anymore. Well, it is possible.
This is just a insane opinion of Ricky Thornton Jr. This opinion that Scott Bloomquist gave, and there's a person down here, Blake Cook, put a really good comment. If you read between the lines, he doesn't think RTJ is any good. Guys, for anyone who has paid attention to the sport, and I think this is possibly an issue with Scott Bloomquist, is he does pay attention to what he's doing. He does pay attention to the top performers of super late model racing. But when a guy like Ricky Thornton Jr. pops up out of nowhere in a couple years and starts doing what he's doing to the series, he's shocked. This is a picture from the dirt track at Las Vegas where Scott Bloomquist was there and Ricky Thornton Jr. destroyed him and won $10,000. However, if you paid attention to Ricky Thornton Jr. at all, he was never projected to be as good as Scott Bloomquist. In my opinion, he's projected to be just as great as Kyle Larson. Ricky Thornton Jr. is a guy who put a damn modified on a flatbed trailer, drove up to the Dakotas, trying to make something of himself, didn't have no big funders or big money behind him, no rich dad and everybody who's bought him a bunch of super late models so Scott Bloomquist can come over there and help him win a dirt track world championship. No. Ricky Thornton Jr. had to go bust his ass to get him to where he's at today. On the racetrack in lower divisions like IMCA modifieds that are only about $45,000 to put onto the track at the time he was doing it. Potentially you could pump 60 or 80 into one. So little Ricky Thornton Jr. out of the damn deserts of Arizona, the Sunbelt Bandit I used to call him, coming out of the Nowheresville, coming from the bottom to the top. And something that sprint car racing, we don't even have that opportunity over here, because if you ain't in a damn truck at 16 and in NASCAR at 18, you're a nobody. No one cares about you. And that's luckily because of the Scott Bloomquist and the Billy Moyers, who was the icons of your sport in the 90s when these kids today that are racing as adults grew up. Whereas our icon was a Jeff Gordon and a Tony Stewart and a Cole Trickle. So Ricky Thornton Jr. and racing his ass off from the bottom, started from the bottom, and now he's here, and you're surprised? Because a working man actually made it with some damn talent. I don't know if what Scott Bloomquist said here was trying to critique Ricky Thornton Jr. or potentially submit a resume. Because he did critique his driving and overdriving and his cars, right? Oh, maybe Scott can get in there and help him and coach him. Put him on the payroll. Because we've all heard about how these late model legends have not necessarily worked out financially for their lives. Ricky Thornton Jr. won a non-wing sprint car race in Arizona in his first attempt. Ricky Thornton Jr. popped in to a USMTS race with an IMCA modified and won. And I'm also not ignorant to the fact that the reason the guy is coming up in a modified is because he don't have the $120,000 fucking dollars for a super late model at a young age of life. And because of that classism, he's a fucking modified guy who must be doing some kind of tricks to keep up with people on the racetrack. Kiss my motherfucking ass, Alien Zero guy. And that's unfortunate. I hung out with Scott Bloomquist one night. Pretty nice guy up in Vegas. Actually, the same Vegas night, I believe, night before this happened with Ricky Thornton Jr. kicking his ass. I don't even know if he actually made the A-main, though. And as far as modified, his 2 modified races he's bragging about, why is he even here with Ryan Gustin? Over some trickaroos as to why he wasn't at the World 100 on this night. And Ryan Gustin still kicked his fucking ass. But anybody professed in motorsports and knowing the cost of these vehicles and all these things looks at the career of what Ricky Thornton Jr. has done, and it's potentially the greatest American racing story that we have right now. That path that Ricky Thornton Jr. has shown to the world is obtainable by regular individuals who work extremely hard, who can drive their ass off. The Dale Seniors of the world. There is no opportunity for those types of individuals in the NASCAR Cup Series and upper echelon series of the worlds, but there's opportunities here in the dirt super late model racing world. And we need to hopefully encourage more super late model teams to pick drivers from modified racing, because it's one of the most competitive forms of motorsports, probably the most. And when you look at how many drivers there are in modifieds and how even those cars are and those 8-inch tires, how much difficulty it takes to wheel those things, there's a lot of talent over there, man. There's a hard argument to say that modified racing in America is the toughest form of motorsports there is. I would give credit to the super late models because there's a lot of cars and a lot of talent as well, and it definitely gets the glamorous attention being up on its stage. But when you look at the quality of cars and the amount of cars and competitors, modifieds can make a damn good case. Because once again, not everybody has $120,000 cash to go out there and maybe win 50. And then, of course, the technologies and the things that they are describing, which are so very important between one car performing versus the other. And yes, vehicle setup and things of the sorts, Ricky Thornton Jr. them have figured something out. But I almost want to guarantee that he figured it out on his own, with his people and his crew. He didn't go out there when he was coming up through the ranks and ask everybody else what they were doing. I would almost guarantee you, whatever Ricky Thornton Jr.'s got going on, he discovered it. You ain't gonna be able to call up Rumleys and Davenports and find out what Ricky's doing. He's learned since he's came up in this racing world that he's got to figure it out on his own if he wants to eat. Because this is a guy, if he didn't win, he didn't eat. He didn't survive. He didn't make it. And some of these rich people, privileged people who ain't had to think like that, who's got a parent with a nice building or business or investments here, investments there, or landed a big giant sponsor at a very young age through nepotism and monarchy. Y'all don't have that same driving. Y'all should be scared to fucking death. Ricky Thornton Jr. didn't have no famous last name. Ricky Thornton Jr. didn't have money in the bank. Ricky Thornton Jr. ain't buying Scott Bloomquist and crew chiefs. Ricky Thornton Jr. is a wild motherfucking shark out here that's been eating motherfuckers up. You put him in the car, he performs. You give him a shot, he wins. He knows he has to. Let's look at Ricky Thornton's profile here, because some people need to see it. Chandler, Arizona, born on September 28th. Happy birthday here in less than 10 days. 375 wins. At 33 years old, worked his ass off for 300 wins. Racing hero, Tony Stewart and Jimmy Owens. I guess Jimmy Owens is just a modified guy, huh? I guess Mike Marlar is just a modified guy, huh? These are two names I just named that made their name on the modified circuits of America. Jimmy Owens and Mike Marlar. Is this opinion the same for them? 300 career wins, 30 plus championships, guys. 20RT.com for people who just don't know. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have to say today. What do y'all think of this monstrosity of a opinion on Ricky Thornton Jr.? As commenters are saying, halfway accusing him of cheating. Once again, I just think this is some people being too busy, caught up in their own business. You know, that's really what's happened here, I hope, for the sanctity of human mentalities. I hope that what happened here is that Scott Bloomquist was just so caught up in his own racing career that he just didn't have time to look around and see this Ricky Thornton Jr. guy destroying everyone anytime he got into any class of car that you put him in. And yeah, it took a little bit to get the late model going, but anyone who knows what you saw Ricky Thornton Jr. do in his up-and-coming career knows and knew that it was only a matter of time before he was going to dominate. Ricky Thornton Jr. deserves to be compared closer to Kyle Larson of the late model world, more so than Scott Bloomquist of the late model world. After all, he's a family man who seems to have his head on straight. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have to say today. What do you think below? Just my opinion, too. This is all just my opinion. I don't have a problem with Scott's opinion, but I do have an opinion of his opinion. And that's why it stays exciting. Everybody has an opinion. We throw them out there. We get to some kind of, transgression of understanding. Maybe people get educated. Maybe people learn something they didn't learn before, stuff like that. So, anyways, leave your comment below, like the video, share the video, and as always, be sure to subscribe. We'll catch you next time.
This is how we ride, this is how we do.